If you are not a seasoned trader, then I don't think it makes sense to be super aggressive going into FOMC this week. It's highly likely we get a 25 basis point rate cut, and I think that the last leg of this bull market cycle could be starting. In today's video, we'll be talking about this, going over the most recent Bitcoin price action, short term versus medium term here as we approach the end of the cycle. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, my general trajectory has been up, down, up. The reason being, this was not an impulsive move from the lows, just to reiterate. So right now, Bitcoin got a very nice pump. We took advantage of this pump. As I've shared on the channel many times, we had a lot of longs opened with altcoins, but I also had a pretty massive Bitcoin long position open on Bluffin as well. As you can see, we realized some nice profits, still sitting in some unrealized profits with my stop loss at break even. So this is effectively a risk-free trade now. Now, I've been getting a lot of flack over the past couple days, even weeks, because I suggested that Bitcoin may roll over going into FOMC. One thing is for sure, it will be a very volatile week. And you can see here that on the 4-hour time frame, as I'm recording this video, Bitcoin whipped all the way almost to $117,000, and now we retraced a little bit. We're sitting right around 116K. Ultimately, nothing has changed over the past couple days. But I want you to be careful here trading this volatility. If you're not a seasoned trader, I wouldn't be going aggressive. The reason being, we can get shakeouts in both directions. Whether Bitcoin is about to go lower before we go higher, or we just pump from here, one thing is for sure, I think a lot of longs and shorts will be wrecked in this market. Speaking of which, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation map, as you can tell here, there is now effectively 2 times more cumulative long liquidation leverage in the market compared to cumulative short liquidation leverage. This tells me that we will likely come back down at some point before the last leg of this bull market cycle to flush out all of these late longs. Now, something you need to consider here, we are very, very close, as I outlined in my previous video, to $117,000, where there's a lot of short liquidity. So it would not surprise me if we have an aggressive move to this region before potentially coming back down. I shared with you on the channel that I have a lot of spot exposure in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I haven't sold any of my spot bags quite yet, and I will make sure to keep you updated as I do. However, I think that we could have another shakeout to the downside before we move higher, just to reiterate my current point of view, hence the up, down, up, as I've been sharing on the channel. Based on your comments, I know a lot of you seem to not like this theory, but let's see how it plays out. If we keep on going up, I am more than happy to cash in on those altcoin long gains as well as my Bitcoin long. However, I have already opened a Bitcoin short position and I shared it in my free premium group. And if you want some free guidance and insight as to how I am personally trading this market this upcoming week, the following weeks, the following months, the last leg of this bull market cycle, and then into the bear market where, yes, I will be shorting, you have that first link in my description down below. This will bring you to my free premium Telegram community. All you need to do is send me the message premium, and I would be happy to onboard you into my free group. As I've shared many times before, the only requirement is to sign up with one of my affiliate exchange links and start trading on there. Whether that's Bluffin or Weeks, it's completely up to you. Speaking of which, I also have a quick promotion for Bluffin just to share with you. You can see that you can earn an Omega Globemaster. You can also earn an Apple Vision Pro. Obviously, these prizes are sent out in USDT, but this is based on your net deposit and trading volume. Anyone that trades crypto knows it's very, very easy to achieve a lot of these volumes, and it's essentially free money if you're already an active trader. So for new users, go ahead and join me on Bluffin. That is the second link in my description down below, where you could take advantage of these great trading rewards. Now back to the charts. So if we are to get rejected, I think that it is going to be around this region, which I have shared many times before. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but this is ultimately a very, very pivotal zone for Bitcoin to flip if we are going to make a brand new all-time high sooner than I would personally be expecting. Now, I wanted to also take a look at USD dominance on the monthly time frame. You can see that we are really touching this trend line, which has been intact for quite some time since 2017. And so typically, If we get a bounce off of this trend line, it is inherently bearish for the market. If we move lower towards the trend line or even a little bit below, it is bullish for the markets. And so right now you can see that we are on the trend line. Can we move a little bit lower to this 4% level? Of course, there's a possibility, and that would ultimately be bullish. But right now, I think what we'll see is exactly what we saw at these past tops. I think we'll likely get a bounce from USD dominance. Bitcoin may get a slight correction down to the range lows, and then we will make our way back towards this trend line, maybe a little bit below for the last leg of this bull market cycle. And just to give you some quick projections in terms of what my target would be for Bitcoin, as soon as we start getting back above this high, 124.5K, I will consider selling a lot of my Bitcoin stack in preparation to accumulate more near the bear market bottoms. I know a lot of people are saying with institutions, maybe we won't have a severe bear market, but ultimately Bitcoin has run from around $16,000 all the way up to 125K. The bull market was clearly there, and I think we will have another bear market, and I don't think that you should fade this idea of the 4-year cycle because so far it has held true, so why wouldn't it happen again? Now keep in mind, I will never sell all of my Bitcoin stack because sometimes in this world you just don't know what could happen. However, I have played this market year after year after year, and so I do think that this will be an excellent opportunity to offload some of my Bitcoin bag around 130 all the way up to potentially 150K, although 150 is a pretty optimistic target in my opinion. It wouldn't surprise me if we have another leg higher and we find our way maybe between 130 to 140, and if I'm surprised and we go higher than 150, then amazing. But one thing is for sure on this channel, you won't catch me being one of those extremely bullish influencers going into the bear market telling you that Bitcoin is going to hit $400,000 this cycle. Simply not the case in my opinion. If we do, I'll be happy, but ultimately I want to make sure that you're level-headed in this market, and so if you enjoy this kind of analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I'm posting videos every single day updating you on the market. Something else that we need to talk about. Downside liquidity is also very clear at this point in time on the 1-week time frame. You could see that there's currently a lot of liquidity sitting right below $113,000, and so as I said, it wouldn't surprise me if we tap into that region at some point before the last leg higher. I'm just following my thesis, and I will let you know as soon as things potentially change. If not for the worst, then for the better. Let's see what happens, because right now you can see that Bitcoin still is getting a little bit of an SFP on this 4-hour time frame, and we wicked all the way up to 116.7. Now we are currently sitting right around 115.6. In the short term here, I don't think that you need to freak out. If you're not a trader, as I said at the beginning of this video, then simply sit on your hands because I do think that we will have another leg higher. That is the best possible case scenario for Bitcoin. We consolidate, maybe we drop here as I've been predicting, and then we get another bounce. And then as we distribute higher, hopefully above $113,000, that is the point in time where we will see a more sustainable shift into altcoins. And believe me, I will be trading the heck out of those altcoins. Remember, if you want to know my exact trade setups, you have that first link in my description down below. And as we just talked about, there is now a 96.2% chance that we get a 25 basis point rate cut with only a 3.8% chance that we get a 50 basis point rate cut. However, Goldman Sachs has been giving a little bit of predictions here. We expect 3 consecutive 25 basis point cuts in September, October, and December, followed by 2 more cuts next year to 3 to 3.25%. A 50 basis point cut is also possible at the upcoming meeting if the labor market deteriorates more quickly. You know, we've been seeing that the labor market has been slowly deteriorating, but with inflation remaining relatively sticky here, this is likely why we won't be getting a 50 basis point rate cut, and you can see that the odds are really in the favor for a 25 basis point rate cut. Something else I just wanted to show you here. Last week, obviously, we had the S&P 500 closing at a new all-time high, and typically, if we can continue to move higher, this is positive for cryptocurrencies. We know it, we've seen it time and time again. Yes, they are correlated. And what I also wanted to bring to your attention here is that US banks did report around a $400 billion unrealized loss as of Q2 2025. What is happening here? Are things getting a little bit difficult for banks? Perhaps so. And it wouldn't be another video ahead of FOMC without talking about Trump versus Fed Chair Jerome Powell. President Trump once again criticized Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell as incompetent, saying the Fed is hurting the housing market. Trump noted he has 3 people he prefers for the role, adding that while energy and grocery costs are down, housing is lagging because of the Fed. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Leave a comment down below if you think that this is accurate. And as I wrap up this quick video, let's cover Bitcoin dominance, because I think that this is the area where we consolidate and then we get a bounce. Now, I can't tell you, yes, for sure, we're going to hit 66% dominance once again, but my base case has been that we will be moving higher and we should not be breaking below 55%. If we break back below 55%, then at that point we start talking about this scenario, which was altcoin season. However, I still think that we will get another bounce here and maybe we make our way back up to these levels. We may not make a new high, but I would be surprised if Bitcoin dominance doesn't at least make it back above 60 to 62%. That is very viable in my opinion. And as we wrap up this video, taking a look at the pre-markets, you can see that everything is essentially green ever so slightly, pretty much flat, and Bitcoin at the time of recording this video is sitting right around 115.7K. And that sums up today's video. Let's see what happens. FOMC is on Wednesday, and I will make sure to keep you updated as things develop. If you want more insights, make sure to join my free Telegram community. Links are in the description down below. But I think that we will see a very volatile period in this market this week. Make sure you're managing your risk accordingly, because there will be a lot of shakeouts regardless of the direction of Bitcoin. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.